Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're joining us today. Look, if you've ever felt completely helpless sitting in that barber's chair, you are definitely not alone. But today, based on the source material we're digging into, there's actually a fascinating way to map this whole thing out using two incredibly precise tools: facial geometry and hair biology. No more crossing your fingers, no more just hoping for the best. Let's dive into what the analysis says about taking absolute control of your next haircut. Because we all know that universal pain point, right? You spend an hour scrolling online, you find the absolute perfect reference photo, you show it to your barber feeling super confident, and then, bam, you get completely cooked. You walk out looking literally nothing like the picture. It's so frustrating. But hey, here is the hard truth we have to address today, and it might sting a bit. You can't actually blame the barber. It's kinda on you. The reason the cut failed is simply that you didn't understand the unique geometry of your own head or the physical properties of your hair before asking for a style that was frankly never gonna work for you.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, finding your face shape. Second, strategies for square and rectangular faces. Third, styling a round face. Fourth, the diamond face shape. And finally, why hair type actually matters.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, finding your face shape. This is our first critical diagnostic phase.
To get this right, go ahead and picture your face, or actually pull out your phone's front-facing camera right now. We're going to do a super quick 3-step exercise to figure out which main geometric shape your face is closest to. Okay, step 1, check out your jaw. If your jaw is wider than your midface and your forehead, you're most likely rocking a square or rectangular shape. Step 2, look at your midface. If the middle section is the widest part and your jaw is narrow, you've probably got a diamond face shape. But if that midface sticks out just as much as your lower jaw, you're leaning way more toward a round face. And finally, step 3, just check your forehead to see how it balances everything else out. You might be a mix of these, sure, but finding the one you're closest to gives you that essential baseline.
Now, you might be wondering, hey, can I just use technology to figure this all out? Well, yes and no. You've probably seen those AI hairstyle apps that basically Photoshop different haircuts right onto your face. And yeah, they're pretty fun for getting a rough visual estimate of a style. But listen, you absolutely shouldn't take these at face value. Why? Because these apps frequently misinterpret real hair types. They might show you this amazing, flowing, wavy look that your dead straight hair physically cannot achieve in the real world. So use them for inspiration, absolutely, but rely on the actual geometry we're mapping out today.
Moving on to Section 2, square and rectangular faces. This is all about dealing with a prominent, strong jaw.
So these face shapes are really characterized by a prominent, wide, and strong jawline. To get the exact vibe of what we're talking about here, just look at our celebrity cheat codes, Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise. Cavill is literally famous for having that insanely chiseled square jaw. It's iconic. When you have this kind of strong, angular facial geometry, you want a haircut that frames it perfectly. You really want to lean into that natural strength. Here's the strategy. If you have a square face, your head is relatively short and wide. So the ultimate goal here is to elongate your face. And the absolute best way to do that? A low taper fringe. Keeping a low fade on the bottom with plenty of volume on top creates this perfect contrast that really highlights your cheekbones and jawline. Now, to actually achieve that beachy, fluffy volume up top, your absolute secret weapon is sea salt spray. It gives you incredible texture without making your hair look greasy or weighed down.
But wait a second, what if you have a rectangular face? Honestly, a rectangular face is essentially just a longer square head, but the styling strategy's totally different. While the square face needs a taper to elongate the head, if you have a rectangular face, you have to avoid the taper like the plague. If you taper a rectangular face, you're going to elongate your head even more, and that completely throws off your proportions. Instead, you want to keep the sides a bit longer. This makes the face appear slightly shorter and much more balanced.
Before we wrap up this category, we've got to talk about the buzz cut. For a square face, assuming your hairline isn't totally cooked, the buzz cut is an absolute cheat code. Seriously, it's timeless, it's mature, and it's highly attractive because it puts that incredible jawline front and center. But if you put a buzz cut on a round face, total disaster. No joke, it makes you look exactly like an egg. You will get cooked. So please, if your face is round, just step away from the clippers.
Which brings us right to Section 3, styling a round face. This is all about creating structure.
As we established earlier, a round face shape is where the midface sticks out just as much as the lower jaw. And since a round face might naturally carry a little more body fat in the cheeks, the whole goal here is creating the illusion of structure. And get this, you can actually use chemistry to hack your facial geometry.
Enter texture powder. It's a total game changer. For a round face, you want a medium length, kind of tossed look, where the sides are kept a bit longer. By using texture powder, you can hold that hair firmly in place around the edges of your forehead. You are literally artificially sculpting your face shape. You add this much-needed angularity and essentially create artificial cheekbones just by manipulating how the hair sits.
So the linning styles for round faces really play off these angles. First up is the side-swept haircut. Think of it like a middle part, but purposefully pushed over. It's fantastic because it covers the outer portions of your face, which makes whatever cheekbones you do have look significantly more prominent. Generally speaking, you really want to avoid short hairstyles here entirely. The longer the hair, the more you can manipulate it to look square. Or, you can always pull a Leonardo DiCaprio and just go for the classic slick back. It works incredibly well to give a round face a touch of class and some much-needed verticality.
All right, on to section 4, the diamond face shape. This one is highly attractive.
This particular shape is defined by having the widest med face, meaning you've got those prominent, crazy cheekbones, paired with a very narrow jawline. To vividly picture this, just think of Timothée Chalamet or Austin Butler. They completely maximize the diamond shape. Chalamet is famous for that long, flowy, beachy look that adds immense volume all around. Meanwhile, Austin Butler absolutely rocks that model-esque slick-back style. Both of these styles perfectly complement an incredibly angular face because they play with the length and volume rather than fighting against it.
Now, if you take away just one single rule for the diamond face, it's this. Keep hair off your face. If you cover the sides of a diamond face, you are completely hiding your best feature, your cheekbones. And because your jaw is already narrow, it'll make your entire head look dangerously, uncomfortably narrow. You actually need hair volume sticking off the sides of your head to balance out those prominent cheekbones. So show off your forehead, grow it out, and whatever you do, absolutely avoid short buzz cuts.
Finally, we arrive at section 5. Why hair type matters. This is the ultimate rule that overrides everything else. And this brings us to the ultimate narrative record scratch. Seriously, nothing we just discussed matters at all unless you know your hair type. You could have the absolute perfect diamond face, and you might really want that flowing Timothée Chalamet look, but picking the perfect face shape style is entirely useless if your hair texture physically rejects it. It just won't work. Let's look at the science of why. When we synthesized the whole complex 1A to 4C hair typing system from our sources, it basically goes in ascending order of thickness and texture. So if you have 1A to 1C hair, it is dead straight. If you try to grow it out long without using heavy products like sea salt spray or texture powder, it's literally just going to lay totally flat on your head. Then you've got 2A to 2C, which is wavy hair. This naturally thrives at medium to long lengths because it just inherently doesn't lay flat. Moving on to 3A to 3C curly hair, here you want to keep it long to really show off the curls, but it absolutely requires moisture, like lots of it. Finally, 4A to 4C is coily hair, which offers incredible versatility as it grows out, provided you prioritize heavy moisturizing. So the big takeaway from all this source material is super simple. Prioritize your hair type first, and then adapt for your face shape. Your hair type dictates what is physically and biologically possible for your head. Once you know what your hair can actually do, only then do you apply the face shape rules we just discussed to frame your specific angles and find that absolute perfect cut. So, you've diagnosed your geometry, you've accepted your biology, you have finally figured out your perfect face and hair match. But I want to leave you with this provocative thought sourced directly from our material today. Are you destined to go bald before you can even try it out? Because let's be real, getting the perfect cut doesn't matter at all if you're actively losing your hair. That is a whole different puzzle to solve about protecting your hair health, and I know it leaves you hungry to learn more. But until next time, take these tools, go talk to your barber, and master your hairstyle matrix.